because I'm transparent and again, I'm healing. But those were the things that were always said to me in my last relationship. And I was so like, okay, wow, like this is real. And anyways, what I'm trying to say is that hurt, it may take you 6 months and you move on and you don't feel anything. And sometimes it could take longer to heal from a relationship. But don't let that healing, you can still heal and move on, and you should, and go have fun and enjoy life. And
You're right. You don't have to be fully healed. I mean, you should take time to yourself to heal after you've been in a long-term relationship, but you don't have to be fully healed to move on. In fact, ideally, you will meet a person who's also on a healing journey, and there's only so much healing you can do by yourself. You need to come together with someone and then you go forward, right? And you heal, you help each other heal a lot in that journey too. And I think it's really beautiful.
well,
So shout
you
out to Audrey.
Yeah. Well, a YouTuber recently I was watching, and they said something that I laughed about. They said your healing is 60% you. Okay, it's on you. There's 30% that is your new partner that will help in your healing, right? Because you have to have that new partner move you on, and then 10% you're screwed. That's stuck with you the rest of your life. Like you're traumatized and there's no help for that. But that 60% is on you to heal and move on. And I just thought that was really funny because there's truth to that,
Talking to you about this stuff always reminds me, and I know I'm raising sons, so I see it in them too, how sweet men can be and how beneficial they can be in our lives. Because I think you're right. I know that the statistics say that women do initiate divorces and things more, which is true. And I also know that the statistics say that women live longer and have happier lives single, right?
because we're
I
suffering
don't
in
know.
silence.
Yeah, and men suffer in silence. It's true. But I do believe that there are ways, if we learn them, and I've been studying them certainly for the last few years since my divorce, to create happier and more fulfilled relationships with each other when we do things like you said, when we are willing to confront our fears and our wounding, and we're willing to give chances to people, new people, and to do some of our healing work with them, and trying to make each relationship, like take the lessons we learned from the past breakup and into the new relationship and try to make that relationship better. There's ways to talk to each other and communicate and resolve conflict, and to appreciate and admire each other, right? And to adore each other, and in ways that can make the new relationship a million times better than the one before. So I think it's really important that we don't give up, that we keep trying, that I will still be dating, and there'll be more episodes of dating after divorce.
No, that's
You
a
know?
that's a what you just said, very valid, because with breakups and heartache, what ends up happening is you end up having toxic men and women who go through this toxic where they just start hating, dating or hating women, right? Or women, I hear this all the time from men and women, like, oh, I hate all guys. Guys are this, guys are like, I'm like, well, not all guys are like that, okay? Or not all women are like this, but I hear it from both sides. And
Mhm.
so they get in this toxic mindset, um, talking crap about the other gender that they're dating, and it's like, okay, maybe just reevaluate. Maybe you've done something wrong in who you're attracting or who you're attracted to. Maybe try something different. Maybe start meeting people at different places. We live in the world of the internet. Like, there's meetup groups. There's all kinds of things you can do now. Maybe if you've always dated somebody of, I don't know, what's the right word, of a certain type, maybe that's just not working for you. Maybe try dating
Facts.
somebody completely different, opposite. I know for me, uh, my girlfriend now is nothing like my ex. completely opposite, right? And I don't know if opposite is the right word, but nothing like her. Whereas, and this is in features and also in personality. Okay. Whereas my ex, I can't speak to the guy, and this is nothing against him. You know, I don't know him. I don't know what his personality is, but in features, definitely me. Like it's almost like a carbon copy, you know, a version of me. So, but so she has a type, you know. And that's interesting. So my point here is maybe go outside of your type. Maybe you find love or affection or whatever you want to call it, romance, in somebody completely different. It might really change things for you. And it's funny because I don't like to admit this out loud, but Audrey will laugh. I got hooked on Love Is Blind recently. I've been watching that shit. I hate reality shows. I really do, and I hate dating reality shows. I think they're stupid. And I was like, I'll give this a watch, and then I got sucked into it. But you know, in that show, people are dating people outside of their demographic and their type, and you know everything.
Yeah.
And I find that very interesting, and especially for the ones that end up together. I'm like, oh wow, you like totally dated somebody completely not your type, but emotionally they were, you know, on a deeper level. So anyway, sorry.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just have to go out of your comfort zone. I did that. That last guy I was dating was not my type. And I think part of it too was like getting to that point where like, okay, this is starting to get a little bit serious. But this is not my type. And getting over that, like step out of your comfort zone. We had some really great experiences that I wouldn't have had if after our first date, I didn't go, you know what? That person's really cool. I like the way they think. I like how they present themselves, but they just don't look like the normal person I go out with, right? They're not the same build. And then I had to be like, wow, this is a growth moment, Kia. You're gonna grow a little bit and date someone different.
I want to, and I don't know if this is true. This is my opinion. I wonder if there's a study on that. I wonder if women are more likely to date outside their type than men are. And and I say that because men, we go off of features, like facial features, like body type, like that first.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas women are much more deeper in who the hell are you than anything. And I say that because I dated a girl last year, looks wise, like totally my type, but she was completely not my type. She's super religious. She was very Catholic. And for her, I was the first person she's ever dated that's not outside of her religion. The first person ever. So she was trying something different. From her end, she was going out. She's like, look, I've tried dating strictly Catholic because she's very religious and she understands it's very important to her. So she has always said, you know, how's this going to work with anybody else? But she took a chance with me. Didn't work out. But from my end, I'm not a religious person. I'm completely opposite. Like I'm not religious at all. But you know, I'm just being honest here. From a guy's brain, I'm like, we'll work that out. Like, you know, she looks good. I'll date her. We'll work all that details out later. You know,
I think that's totally a guy,
right? Like. If I need to become Catholic, and I remember on the first date, I was like, I just want you to know I've been baptized when I was a baby. Like, am I in? Like, am I good? You know, but she, but for her, she was dating outside, and you know, I thought about it, I was like, you know, but the point here is that date outside of your comfort zone. She was taking a risk. She was taking a chance. And that was, to me, I was like, that's a beautiful thing that you're doing. You know, what you have been doing hasn't worked for you.